Hello there, welcome to Heart Explained Therapy, and now I want to break down thoughts, how you think and how you feel from the thought, and how sometimes you might feel first, then start thinking. This is crucial to all mental health conditions. This is crucial to your life, how you see your whole life in the future and how you want it to be comes down to the way that you think. It's so important on every level. I'm going to show you how it works. The one fact at the moment which is seems to be a sort of measurable truth is that you have 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and they reckon that most of them are negative, right? Now, first of all, if they are more negative, we definitely have to switch them to being positive. And you will hear people saying, well, look at the positive side of that. Why don't you look with a half the glass full rather than empty? And you might have heard this, and it's technically quite true on a good level. You can turn anything into a positive. Any negative can be turned into a positive. So that means from tomorrow you can turn every negative thought that you have instantly into a positive that's beneficial for you. The only thing is, these thoughts come so quick and so sort of surprisingly out of the blue, you'll do well to even know when you've had a negative thought. So you've got a lot of training, discipline, you've got to suddenly catch these thoughts. And this isn't just like someone throwing a ball really slow. You're going to get 50 to 70,000 per day. Now let's just think that this was 50 to 70,000 slow balls that you have to catch a day whilst you're at work, whilst you're driving, whilst you're doing all these different habits. You're going to get them. And this is technically what is causing and starting and triggering mental health conditions and physical conditions. It all starts up here. Your energy, your fatigue, it all starts in here. It starts with a thought that then, if you do not dissect it and break it down to what it really is, it's gone into your system, and then the rest is just history. 2 or 3 days, you'll wake up out of the fog, out of the coma, and then you suddenly think, how come I'm motivated again? I must have had a good sleep last night, and you're just so unconscious. Now, it's not an easy thing to do, but there is a possible way of doing it. It's becoming aware. At the moment, you're a thinking machine, and you might think that you don't actually think that many thoughts, but you'll be amazed of how much they come to you and how quickly they come to you, and how you have to do more than just, this isn't just like stop thinking. Oh, I'll just stop thinking then. That's technically another thing that you can do. It's I've noticed when I think less, or I feel like I think less, I actually feel a bit better from that. So it's not a bad skill to develop, but there's a process. Even when you've caught a thought, you can catch a thought that seems sort of something that wouldn't make you feel bad, and before you know it, 5 minutes later you're feeling bad, and then you see that the thought represented another sort of masquerading thought. And this is something that I've only just realised on how I personally dissect thoughts instantly as they come, to make sure that they're not hidden as a different agenda. And the way that this works is, I'll tell you an example. You will look at a nice car and you will think, oh, look at that car. You might even say it to somebody, if someone's next to you in the car or on the road, you'll be like, look at that car. Now that doesn't seem like it can cause any harm whatsoever, but let's dissect that one thought a little bit more. instantly it shows me you're not happy with the car that you've got because you're desiring another car. Now this car is out of your price range of earnings, so that will also lead to a bit of a bad feeling inside. And this is where you've got to be, that one thought there I can break down even further and even further to the feelings of you feeling uncomfortable because of the one thought, that's a nice car, which seems positive at the time. And there's different ways it can go. Some people can handle that thought just fine, but most of us can't. It's desires, it's attachments in a stressful world where we look out and we want the world, vanity, materialism, and it causes us pain. We've got to start dissecting our thoughts. Now, one of the best tools out there for this is meditation. Now, I do not meditate, and I should really, but I don't, and I don't like it. But when I did have a phase of meditation, it made me super aware, stilling the mind and emptying the mind and viewing the thoughts and realising that you couldn't really do anything with them. If you tried to think about it to go, you'd suppressed it and it would just come back straight away. It was very strange, but it's a mechanism that makes you quite aware of what's going on inside your mind. It's almost like an extra little layer of consciousness. So meditation is a key tool to use, and I like to think that really, and this is where I've progressed my bad habit of not being able to meditate, I like to meditate in circumstances where you wouldn't believe meditation can exist. And I'm not saying this for you to do it, this has taken a long time, but meditation is stilling the mind. It is silencing your own mind of thoughts, the thoughts that say you want or you don't want. I must be here or I must not be there. And I've realised that you can do this in your work environment. You can actually slow your mind down to silence. You don't actually switch off. You can go onto autopilot, but your mind will be slow. You'll be aware of thoughts. You can let them pass. You can even get to the point where you get the thoughts and you feel those feelings, and that becomes a habit. And I'm not saying do this to start with, but once, or if you find it difficult to even meditate and you've looked at a few videos and can't find something that you can connect with, just remember it's silencing your irrational thought process, which is completely natural. It's okay. 50 to 70,000 thoughts is what we need to probably proceed with our day. We just don't need half of them to be giving us bad feelings and bad chemicals reacting on our body that makes us physically bad and tired and unwell and over hyperactive when we don't need to be. So that's one tool that I use and agree with. Another way of sort of looking at your thoughts is actually when you feel uncomfortable. Now, when you feel uncomfortable, when you feel stressed, when you have any sort of change of behaviour, and you can start doing this when you're happy, start to look about at the previous events. You don't have to go a week's back. Something in the last few hours or the last day would have ticked an emotional need box or put a cross in it, and it would make you feel shit or good. Start finding out what that is. How come I'm stressed every Tuesday? Every Tuesday at 6 o'clock in the morning I am really stressed. Oh, it's the shift where I work with so-and-so who I subconsciously suppress that I don't like them and pretend that I'm best friends, but I'll never forgive them for what they did 3 years these crazy sort of strange images and stories and stuff that you didn't even know was going on will come out. And it's you getting on top of your thoughts and your feelings and your whole life. It's a illusion, it's a story that you're just unconscious in at the moment, and being conscious in it at least lets you know you're in the game rather than just being in the game. So I hope that has explained anything to do with thoughts. Don't be afraid to think less. Overthinking can be an absolute disaster. So do what you feel comfortable with thoughts, but start off, try it for a week, and you'll start to learn and pick up stuff, and you'll just improve massively.